Welcome, guys. So in this short video, I'm going to be explaining vlookup, hlookup, and xlookup. This is my data which was shared in the class, the title, the price, the type, the description. I've just added one more column, the ID, right? So this is my data set, column A to E. Now I want to ensure I see everything. I'm going to click on this triangle here and double tap so that everything is spacious. Click on the triangle and then double tap any of the columns like this. So everything is spacious, right? Now, all I want to do now is these are my tasks, vlookup. So the task is to ensure, let's say I have this IDs. So I have a request from someone to say, please, someone that has just these 4 IDs, he has just 300, 400, 12, and 1. He doesn't know the title of the car and said, please, Michael, help me with the title of this cars. He knows that I have the whole data. So from this whole data, now I'm going to get the title of the car. Now, one thing is the ID that is there is also in this place. So this is the column A, ID. But instead of me having to check through and look for ID 300 and then check the title of the car, which is in column B. All I need to do is to use vlookup to bring in the value, the title of the car to this place using this ID. All right, and that is what I'm going to do right away. How do I do that? I'll come to where I need that request. I want to get the title of the car. First is to understand the data. This is column 1, column 2, column 3, column 4, and column 5, just as I've told us. This is column 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5. Now, I'll type in equals to vlookup, right? Lookup value is what I want to look up in the main table, which is this 300. I want to look up 300, ID 300, and see and return the title of the car from the main data. Comma, you can see it's highlighted, meaning this is the next thing I want to do. The table array. Where is the table that I'm going to look up for 300? This is the table. How do I highlight? You just come to the top here. When you see this arrow, drag it to the end of your data. All right? So that is how you can highlight. All right? I'm going to teach you another way, but hold on. So then I will lock it. How do I lock this data so that it doesn't shift around? I will say function F4. So there is a function button on your laptop. FN is the name, function F4, all right? Or you can also use the $ shift 4, shift number 4. So when you press your shift down and then you click on $, so that can also lock it for you. Then comma, the next thing is column index number. Column index number is where in the main table is the column that you want to return, right? Is the value that I want to return. For me, I'm looking up the title of the car. Where in this table is the title of the car? The title of the car is in column 2. 1, 2. So title of the car is in column 2. So I'll pass in 2, comma, true or false. So true means if you want approximate match, that is not exact value, but approximate. While false means the exact value. So for me, I want to get the exact corresponding value or corresponding title for ID 300. So if I scroll down to ID 300 now, you see that the corresponding value is Lexus RS 350 2010Y. So I'd want false, which is exact match. So you can also represent true with 1, and you can represent false with 0. So I'm going to represent false with 0. Close your bracket and you hit enter. Voila, that is it. You can see that it has returned for me the title of the car. Although I don't have the title of the car, because this is all I have access to as the person requesting. But because of vlookup, I'm able to get the title of the car very fast without having to eyeball and scroll a lot of pages, a lot of rows. I'll just drag down like this. When you see this plus sign, drag down, and that gives you your answer. It means it has done for the rest of it instead of doing it one by one, right? You can see that have been done. That is how you use vlookup. So vlookup it will help you look up your data or fetch a data from a main table to a sub table, which is what is here. All right. The next thing is hlookup. For hlookup, this is what you have. You have the ID. You don't know the type of car. All right. But for hlookup, your data will not be like will not look like this. Your data will now be in horizontal because hlookup is horizontal lookup. So I'm going to copy now. I've just copied the data. Control A, Control C to copy. I created a new sheet. I'll come here and then right click, right, and then go to, you see a sign called transpose. Click on transpose. Immediately you do that, this is how your data will be like for you to use the hlookup. So it's rarely used. That's why it's rarely used. So you most time use the vlookup. But for your learning, this is how the data will look like. Then I can go to my hlookup now. I want to look up ID 40. All right. Now let's do something. Before we do that, let us highlight this whole table. Let us highlight this whole table and name it like we did for vlookup. Name this table data2. I've named it now so that I don't need to highlight my whole data again. So let me go to vlookup now. hlookup now. I'll prime equals to hlookup. My lookup value is 40. My lookup table array, the table I want to look up from, I've named it already, is data2, comma, row index is in what? Is in row, is it 4 now? Yeah, 0. You can see, because if you go back to your data, this is row 1, row 2, row 3, row 4. The type is in row 4. So you can see it has returned the type for me. I can just drag to the left, and then that fills up my, so they are all locally used. So if you check, you want to check ID 40, is it local use truly? Let's go to ID 40. You can see ID 40 is what locally used car. So that's how you use hlookup to get your data. So you rarely use hlookup because data rarely comes in this format. Data always most likely come in this format. All right. Now let's talk about xlookup. Xlookup is just like, it's just the combination of vlookup and hlookup. It's faster and it's easier to use. So it's faster and it's easier. That's the main advantage of xlookup. So how do you do that? If you don't have Excel from 2019, you might not be able to see this xlookup. If you have lower versions like 2010, 2013, you will not be able to see this xlookup. So don't worry. You just need to stick to your vlookup and hlookup. All right. So the beautiful thing about xlookup is it can perform what both vlookup and hlookup can perform. One, and again, it also has the advantage that you can look up your value from anywhere. So what do I mean by that? Remember in your class, he told you that if you are looking up for something, let's say, for example, in our vlookup, we want to return the ID, right? This is the ID, all right? And we want to return the title of the car. Now, the ID that we want to look up, right, must be in the first column for vlookup to work. It must be in the first column for vlookup to work. All right, and that is how vlookup can work. If it is not in the first column, it will not work, except like it did in the class, except you bring in this ID. If the ID is here, for example, is in column C, except you bring it from column C and bring it to column A, that's when vlookup will work. Your lookup value must be in the first column, all right? But for xlookup, there's no limitation. Your lookup value can be anywhere. You are still going to be able to use xlookup. So let's go, right? How do you do that? Equals to, just type in xlookup to come up. It says lookup value, which is this, comma. Now, lookup array, meaning where in your data do you have IDs? For me, in my data, IDs are in column A. I will lock it. How do I lock? I said you can either use shift 4, sign 4. You see $sign on figure 4 on your laptop, or you just use function F4. I'm using function F4 to lock my data. Comma. The next thing is, you can see it has bolded it. Return array. What do you want to return? I want to return, I think, description. So I will just highlight that as well. I will lock it. There is not, you don't need any other thing again. Or if not found, let's say you didn't see anything. The ID that you are looking for in this table in xlookup is not in this table. What do you want to return? Do you want to return error, or you just want to return anything? So I want to say, I want it to return not found. All right. And then I can close. You see now it has returned the description for me, and then I can drag down. This is the beauty of xlookup. So even if this my ID is not in column 1, I can highlight it from here. I can highlight it from anywhere. That is the advantage. You can use it anywhere, right? Your lookup value must not be in the first column. But for VLOOKUP, your lookup value must be in the first column. And for hlookup, like I said, your data has to be structured like what we have in data 2, right? So that is the summary of VLOOKUP, hlookup, and xlookup. I hope this helped. Right. Thank you so much, guys. See you in the next class. Bye.